Welcome to the Synergy Sessions, Aging Smarter in Silicon Valley. I'm your host, Tom Nelson, and I know firsthand as a family caregiver and part of the sandwich generation how tough it can be to take care of your aging parents while balancing your own life, career, and family. We'll bring you the experts and information necessary to help make your life a little bit easier and you a little bit smarter. Synergy Sessions is brought to you by Synergy Home Care, bringing you personalized in-home care and peace of mind to Silicon Valley families. I really do hope you enjoy the show. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Synergy Sessions, Aging Smarter in Silicon Valley. Today, I'm super excited. I have Stephanie Figeira from PVI, which stands for Peninsula Volunteers Incorporated. She is the Director of Nutrition Services, and I've got just a quote here from their website. At PVI, our mission is to enable seniors to age in place. We believe growing older should mean staying connected, engaged, and empowered. From home-delivered meals to wellness services, social events, and lifelong learning, we provide care and connection that enhance the quality of life for older generations. This fits so perfectly with our Aging Smarter and supporting seniors living at home for the podcast. Thanks so much for being here, Stephanie. I'm just thrilled to have you on.
Oh, well, thank you, Tom, for having me. I'm excited to be here. Uh, it's a great thing to be able to talk about food and nutrition.
Yeah, I know. So we've known each other for a while, and just like, you've really been focusing on, you know, health. You got your health, you got it all. So your
Those are the good old
personal
days.
tagline, and really supporting that mission by working with an organization that's priority is to nourishing seniors, and then so many other things. So maybe
Yeah,
let's start with maybe a little about you and your background and your role with PVI, and
sure.
then really what PVI does in
Great.
general.
Be happy to. Yeah.
Great.
Started out as a certified holistic nutrition consultant, really talking about the food and the power of the food that we put on the end of our fork and into our bodies. And so when this opportunity with PVI came up, it was really an opportunity for me to take all the knowledge and information I have to a bigger scale, but also help a population that is oftentimes underserved in that nutrition area. And so to come on with PVI as their director of nutrition services, it allowed me to bring all of my knowledge and skills and try to incorporate it into the program as much as possible. And that's what we've been doing over the last couple of years of me being with the program. PVI as a whole totally represents where I want to go or where I see
Yeah.
aging with we have 5 key programs or core programs, I guess would be a better way to put it. Little House, which is an adult day activity center, Rosner House, which is caregiver respite, as well as serving the older adult with age-related decline, Alzheimer's, dementia. And then we have our Rides PVI and our newest program, which is Quiescence. And of course, my favorite to talk about, which is our nutrition services, which is our home delivered meals program. Think Meals on Wheels. We also have our Nourishing Connect program, which is maybe for those seniors that are a little more mobile, active, may not fall under the guise of Meals on Wheels. We have a program for them to have home delivered meals. And then also really going out into community sites, so senior centers and places that serve lunch and those types of things, and providing them with nutritious meals to be able to serve their clientele.
Right. Awesome. Well, why don't we start with, because I would love for you to expand on each of your program areas, those three,
Mhm.
but also who are your primary target
Yeah.
clients, customers, and users?
Yeah, those older adults, like that 60 plus
Mhm.
range, it seems that our core group with our meals program seems to be anywhere in that 65 to actually now it's getting up to 95 years old. It was
Wow.
65, 85. But we are seeing that population age. And those are the people that we typically serve. The ones that maybe are tired of cooking.
Yeah.
And want someone else to
Yeah.
just do it, getting them a nutritious meal to their doorstep. Also,
Right.
that helps combat social isolation. It
Mhm.
also brings people connected with the community. So, because every
Right.
one of our deliveries is actually a wellness check and a meal brought to the door.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. With So with each of those programs, it seems like you're meeting people where they're at. So if people can't leave the house, like they might fall into that bucket where the Meals on Wheels or they're
Yeah.
but can you expand
We
on each of those programs and the different
Sure.
kind of
Yeah.
groups that they actually
Yeah, so we serve San Mateo and Santa Clara counties, and we serve for those homebound seniors. We have funding that can maybe help them with a supplemental meal where they get the meal and then they're asked monthly for a contribution of $5 a meal, which is totally it's voluntary. It's based on if they can, they do. If they can't, they don't. But we don't turn anybody away for receiving a meal. Then we do have our other program, which we call Nourishing Connect. And these are all home delivered meals.
Mhm.
So meals are delivered 2 to 3 times
Okay.
a week between 10 and 2. And our Nourishing Connect program is probably one of my favorites. It is a meal, a frozen entree, and then you get a fresh side salad with it,
Oh.
typically a little dessert, of course, because we all need a little
Mhm.
sweet in our lives. But then you get the milk and the dairy and some fresh fruit.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the Nourishing Connect program is really built around those people that are caught maybe more in that I say that sandwich generation, someplace where
Mhm.
I am, my kids are raised, but I'm also now taking care of my aging parent population
Mhm.
and having like Nourishing Connect, they come out, they deliver the meal, they check on, mom and make sure she's okay or dad or mom and
Mhm.
dad. And then if maybe since things are a little off, they will call the family contact and kind of let them know.
Mhm.
It's a program that services both that senior adult with that dignity of, hey, I'm taking care of myself with my food and my meal, but also gives
Mhm.
that, family caregiver, guardian person looking after them, loving them a little bit of relief as well and
Yeah.
peace of mind.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
that's
the
what I
peace of
love
mind's
about our
huge.
program. Yeah. And I love also that we make our food, like we make it at our Menlo Park headquarters.
Yeah.
So we control what's kind of, the quality that goes in there
Right.
and that it's being made there and packaged there and then delivered from that location,
Okay,
which
well, that's amazing. So you're actually you're making the food, you're
yes,
freezing the part that's frozen, and then also there's the fresh
there's the fresh
as you just
component to it
described,
as well.
the fresh components, so you're bringing them both to them, and it's all been made and controlled under your supervision. It's not coming from some truck somewhere or something. It's
Yes.
okay.
I'm very
That's
lucky. I have a good relationship with my chef because she sees me come in,
yeah.
she's amazing everything
Yeah, yeah. That's right. He's like, gosh, yeah, she knows you know what you're doing. It's like, okay, I better make sure I got
up in her
um,
game.
right. And then so was that the there was the 2, did you have the 3rd one where people actually come?
Yes, we do. So those are our two big ones. We also, well, we have three separate little things we do. We
Mhm.
have our community dining site or our little house cafe, which is
Okay.
located in Menlo Park. And that's open Monday through Friday. Monday through
Okay.
Thursday, we have $5 hot lunch, two entrees that you get
Mm,
to choose from, or a $6 salad bar, which is, the salad bar is probably one of my favorites. It's one of the things I brought in.
mhm.
It
Oh,
has
nice.
avocado. I mean, we have fresh avocado in there and all
Yeah.
kinds of seasonally awesome or ingredients for it. Uh, and then on Fridays, we've been doing Burger Fridays, which usually runs in the
Uh-huh.
summertime here, where people come out
Uh-huh.
and you can get a beef burger or a salmon burger. That's a little bit more than what we typically charge for our
Mhm.
other lunches, which are $5 and six. This is
Mhm.
10, but you do get a lot more. And we have a
Yeah.
lot of people that love that. But we're going to be transitioning as we head out of the warm months. We're going to
Yeah.
go into doing maybe some more of our fish Fridays or some
Mhm.
clam chowder, different things. So if you check out our
Yeah.
website, onepvi.org, that'll give you all the
Okay.
information about what we're offering on any given day.
Got it.
And then we have our Got
Wow. I
Groceries
mean
program too. If you
oh,
want
yeah,
to
tell me about that too because, well, because it seems like you're crossing the full continuum or, like, all the different dimensions, so it's like it's bringing them to creating, an environment that they can come to you, so now it's so what's the
yeah.
groceries program? Because I feel
The,
like that yeah, that's a great gap
yeah.
closer as well.
The groceries program kind of just completes the whole thing. It's once a week. We do
Mhm.
it on Wednesdays. And we work in partnership with Second Harvest and then any other
Mhm.
organizations that we can maybe build relationships with. We are really
Mhm.
growing this program. But what it
Mhm.
is that every Wednesday from 11:30 to 1:30, we distribute grocery bags to people that sign up on our list. So we
Mhm.
do about 135 grocery bags every Wednesday out of our headquarters location in Menlo Park. And it's a curated bag of fresh fruits,
Mhm.
vegetables. We do get animal proteins. Maybe occasionally we'll have beef or chicken,
Mhm.
hopefully eggs. Eggs have been pretty scarce, but we
Yeah,
do
yeah.
get those from time to time, dairy, milk,
Mhm.
and bread. And so it does make for a nice bag of groceries for someone. And we figure that they can get anywhere from 3 to 7 meals out of that bag, depending on
Wow.
cooking family or just one.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's fantastic. So you were mentioning second harvest, and so is that free to them, or what does that cost?
It's free to, and it's actually a free
Okay.
program or a
Okay.
fund, I should say, a funded
It's funded.
program. Yeah, we
Sure.
do get donations and then our partnership with Second Harvest as well,
Mhm.
which is
Got it.
they bring in the food for us to pack up and then we bring it out to the community.
Right. And so what is it, and I'm kind of jumping to a later question of mine, but it makes sense to ask you now. So what is the qualification? Are there any qualifications to benefit from the kind of the free portion or the reduced
Yeah.
cost?
Yeah.
How does that
So
work?
to qualify for essentially our Meals on Wheels program, 60 years old, and
Mhm.
you cannot rely, you don't have the means necessarily to get to the grocery store, prepare
Mm.
your food, and then enjoy it. And that's
Yeah.
where that program comes in.
Mhm.
And so there's really, it's just not an income qualifier. You don't have to be
Yeah.
of any type of socioeconomic place. You just have to be not able to get to the store on your own and cook your own food on a reliable
Right.
basis. And that's how you
Yeah.
get those
Okay.
meals. And you can call
Okay.
us and we can tell you about what we do have available in that area as well.
Okay. No, that's great. So it's really as far as it's a fairly low bar, you know, so it's somebody who really needs, I mean, I would imagine most people, if they have the wherewithal, they're gonna get their own food and they're gonna make their own food. These are for people that really are, for whatever reason, are challenged to get out of the
Yeah.
house or to be able to provide for themselves, either from a financial perspective or even just mental, social, whatever, just
Yeah.
are not able to make it out. Because I think that's one of the things that I see in my business of home care is that you have people that they may be financially well, but they are isolated. They're
Yeah.
really challenged in other ways, and it's amazing that you're doing this for them as well, when so many times it's just kind of a financial hurdle or a
Yeah.
hope or a hoop that they need to jump through to make sure that they qualify, but it's good that it's broader than that.
Yeah, that's what I do love about the program. Again, we don't wanna see anybody go hungry.
Mhm.
And so that's what we really work to find a place or a program that we offer for, those seniors out there in the community when
Yeah.
they're just I strongly believe it's an underserved population,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
especially it's a growing population, when you look at the ARP statistics that, by what is it, 2033, we're gonna just more than tripled in size, and we're
Yeah.
taking over.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hear that the largest demographic or the biggest growing is like the 85
Yeah,
plus, I mean,
yeah,
is really growing because people are living longer and this baby boomer generation is moving
mhm,
up. I think it's 11,000 people are turning 65 every day for like the next 20 or so years. And the top of that group you know,
yeah.
is leading the charge.
Yeah, it was interesting. I heard some statistic like every 7 minutes or something like that right now, someone's turning 65. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
"What?" That was just
Yeah.
staggering. I need to go back and look at
Yeah.
that because it was just, you know, it
Yeah.
is, and we're not all in that same ability level of
Yep.
securing the food and preparing it, no matter why
Right.
what those circumstances might be.
Yeah.
And that's why I love that we have programs that hopefully cover the spectrum to serve as many of those people out there that are looking for support and
Right.
connection, because that's really what we
Yep.
are,
Well,
more
I
than
love
just
the
people.
piece where people are coming to you or you're doing a wellness check. So at least
Yeah.
they have a face and a connection with somebody at least once a week if they're not
Yeah.
coming, to dine in your dining hall as well. So it creates
Yeah.
a social connection, even if it's just a small one. A lot of times
Yeah.
people are out of sight, out of mind, where, you mentioned sandwich generation. We're all busy, we're running around.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
sometimes people just kind of disappear into their homes and get forgotten. It's
Hmm.
very easy. So this
Yeah.
outreach is amazing. But as I mentioned before, so you're doing all these things because nutrition is so important. So
Yeah.
let's go back to that. So why is nutrition so important for seniors? Maybe even more. I mean, it's important for everybody, but even so for seniors that, if they fall below a certain threshold of the minimum, why is it
Yeah.
important for them? And maybe what are the downfalls or the repercussions of not prioritizing their nutrition?
Yeah. Okay. This is the fun one.
Okay. This is where we're scaring everybody into eating better now. Okay.
This is where we really look at it, right? As we
Yeah.
age, we're not just aging on that visual of how we see, the skin may be changing or
Mhm.
things like that. It's we don't absorb and we don't digest, absorb, and assimilate at the same rate that we did when we were younger. And so,
Okay.
why does nutrition come into such a big part of that? We've got to keep that gut healthy so that it's able
Mhm.
to digest. And when we're putting food into our body, and I guess it
Mhm.
really falls into, you are what you eat. And so,
Mhm.
if you are eating a lot of those sugary, high processed foods because
Mhm.
maybe that's convenient and easy,
Yep.
and maybe you're that woman or husband that you cooked for the family all those years and did all that, and you just
Mhm.
don't want to do it anymore. And so you're
Yep.
going for those convenience foods. Those
Mhm.
convenience foods are high in sodium. And
Right.
most seniors are on some type of medication, and the doctor's saying you
Yeah.
need a low sodium diet. And a
Okay.
lot of
Yep.
people think that that means, they have to go for cardboard and tasteless
Yeah.
food. And actually, processed foods, all of our processed foods, and especially those high carbohydrate bread items and things,
Mhm.
those are loaded with that bad stuff. So if we just go
Yeah.
back to eating our vegetables and our animal protein, our clean animal
Mhm.
protein, we're
Yep.
reducing that toxic load on our body, making those
Mhm.
medications we're taking able to do their jobs better if we are
Mhm.
taking medications. And if we're not and we're eating this great diet, hopefully we're having good energy, good
Mhm.
digestion, we're
Yep.
getting the exercise, and all part of it, right? We're getting the movement
Yeah.
that we need. We're getting our connection to the community. And we're laughing because we're supposed to laugh
Yeah.
more. As we age, we stop
Right.
laughing. So where do
Yes.
we food can help bring all those things together, and looking at
Yep.
where our food comes from. And again, that's
Yep.
why I love our meals because they are
Mhm.
coming from your neighbor to your door.
Yep.
They really, they're fresh, they're not processed, and
Mhm.
other than they are cooked, cooled, and frozen, and then brought to be enjoyed within 3 months to your home.
Right. And so if they aren't doing that, what
Mm.
are the I mean,
Repercussions?
yeah, what are the repercussions of that? I mean, I imagine you can kinda coast for a while,
You can hey,
but then
the
what
body
happens?
the body and the mind are pretty amazing things,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you can go for a while, but is it really normal to always be feeling tired or withdrawn or
Yeah.
not having the energy? And
Right.
that's what we see a lot of times when we can get people to kind of just step over to the other side with us and maybe
Yeah.
try our meals on a consistent basis. Over 87% of our seniors report that they feel more energy, that they feel like these meals are
Yeah.
allowing them to stay in their homes and be healthier. I think
Yeah.
that's a pretty good example of, hey,
Yeah.
wait, I gave up the TV dinner. Yes, this easy
Mhm.
dinner is here, but
Yeah.
I am feeling better with it. And those are big parts of it that play into it. And it could be a simple little shifts. So you don't have to give
Yeah.
up. As we age, sweet becomes more appealing because we can still
Yeah.
taste it. And so that's
Right.
one of those things. And so we try to feed that sweet with those vegetables and fruits that'll help balance that out. Because a lot of
Yeah.
times, too, as we age, medications maybe change our taste buds as well. And
Yeah.
it's like, how do we amp those up with fresh herbs to make them
Yeah.
taste better and balance that out? And that's what we do.
Yeah.
We try to make our meals as appealing as possible to as many people as possible.
Right. No, I mean, that's the right approach and the right intent because just putting the macros or just, the basics on there and not worrying about the taste and all that, like who wants that? And that's one of the things that comes up, when I started the home care business, we had all these lofty wellness goals. And, I had a registered dietitian on my team and we were talking and what I found is I've been eating this way my whole life where I don't need that. I'm not eating this and that. And I think maybe
Oh,
there's a perception that it's going to be less than. So your focus on taste and making it look good and all those things is really important,
yes.
which kind of goes to the next question, which is, okay, we know as the sandwich generation people that is important, or the listeners now. I've just listened to your explanation of why it's important. Now we want our parents to, or whoever our loved one, our friend, neighbor, whoever, we would love them to prioritize nutrition. What is your approach and maybe the challenges of trying to change? I mean, we're talking about changing behaviors.
Mhm.
Eating different is a behavior change, and any behavior change is hard. So what what's been an approach or what's a good strategy maybe to, get started on at least heading that direction
Yeah. Yeah.
to support somebody to adopt a better style of eating?
The easy question. Thank you so much, Tom.
Yeah, so hey, I ramped up.
You know, I think some of the areas that we've had the best results with are getting the buy-in, like the doctor says this is good for
Yeah.
you type thing,
Mhm,
and especially the caregiver removing being able to take a step back and maybe say, "Oh, this nutritionist recommended that you try
mhm,
this or that." Those things can be very helpful.
right.
The other part about our meals that is so cool is that they're being brought to your home by a live person who's there to
Mhm,
interact with you.
right.
And a lot of times, our volunteers and our paid drivers can come in and they'll talk to the people about the food, and they may
Mhm,
be reluctant, like, I don't know why my family did
mhm.
this. I don't know, whatever, this
Yeah.
is like, and then, but then they get hungry and they try one of our meals. And the next time that driver's back, they're like, hey, that was really
Mhm.
good. You make a
Yeah.
cordon bleu that is my favorite, or our Salisbury steak. People love that.
Yeah.
And when they get the fish, we've been able to do a lot of fish in this last year and hopefully be able to continue that. People love that. And so it's about repetition,
Mhm,
remaining patient, and truly being kind and meeting people where they're at, I
mhm.
think are the big
Right.
things because change is hard. And as much
Mhm.
as, we want for our children and our parents and our loved ones, it's truly about getting as much help as you can to
Yeah.
support in that. And then just sticking with it because baby
Yeah.
steps, we had a client who was very reluctant and the daughter kept calling our office going, she won't eat
Right.
it. She won't, what am I going to do and stuff.
Mhm.
And we actually, just stayed with we had a very consistent driver who kind of stepped
Mhm.
in and just helped out with that. And
Right.
eventually, it was slow, but it did happen. And then the daughter's calling saying, I don't know how you did it, but thank you. So it is teamwork, and that's what we're here for. We're here to really work with the families and the adults because it's all about
Mhm.
choice and dignity and
Yeah.
independence. Remake keeping
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. So that's a perfect segue into my next part of my question, which is how can the families or family caregivers of their aging parents or other loved ones support, you know, their their health and nutrition in this way? As you mentioned, they're usually the instigator, or they're saying they don't, but what's a way they can support in a way that's helpful?
Yeah, that adversarial where you're not button heads, right? You don't want that. I think there's a lot of different ways. There's one you
Mhm.
could just, give the loved one our phone number, or if they're
Mhm.
computer savvy, give them our website. Let them come
Yeah.
poke around and see what we have. But
Okay.
if they want to,
Yeah.
we're there to answer the phone and to help people get the resources they need, whether it
Mhm.
be our meals or a bag of groceries. I
Yeah.
think that's a really good way to know that we can partner with them and
Mm.
they're in that process of feeding their loved one. And that's really where we come. it comes down to. If we can't do the meal, we probably know someone else that can.
Mhm.
And that we have great referral partners for that to help support people in that process.
Okay.
It's, I wish I could say, here's the
Yeah.
cookie cutter and it's this
Yeah, yeah.
simple and easy, and it's not. But I think that PVI Nutrition Services, we're here to support the family
Mhm.
caregiver, the loved one, and that senior who's just looking to support. I think one of the biggest things, like I took a call this last year and it was a woman on the phone saying, I need help. My son comes home from work every day to make me lunch. So he has to
Oh,
leave his job to come home to make her lunch. And she goes, it's too much.
wow.
I feel bad for my son. Can you help me
Mhm.
with meals so I can have lunch and he doesn't have to come
Yeah.
home? You know, and that's a
Wow.
pretty big step for somebody to call and ask for help.
Yeah.
And I felt very good about my team taking it over and that we're able to
Yep.
help this person and the whole
Yeah.
family. And
Sure.
so that's what we do. That's what we're here
Yeah.
for.
Well, I think, you said it earlier, the peace of mind for the family caregivers. Because if you're taking care of them, you're taking care of the whole
Oh
family
yeah.
unit.
Mhm.
Because if they feel like, okay, they're getting what they need, that takes some stress off of them, of less worry, etc.
Yeah.
And I love your approach of how they can support is that have them include
Mhm.
the person in the process. Like you said, have them check out the website if they're tech savvy or whatever, or just have the conversation. So many times I see people talking around or through or, to their adult children instead of talking to them and making them part of that process. And I just know that's something that I focus on. Hey, this is the person that we're working with, not their
Right?
kids. I mean, you might have been the initiators of this,
Mhm.
but you definitely want to make sure that you're including them, their thoughts, and how they feel about it. And if you can get them
Oh
as
yeah.
engaged in the process as much as possible, I think that goes really far. And that just, each
Yeah.
situation is going to be individual based on their personality and their ability level, but at least
Oh yeah.
starting there is good. Even if they have dementia or even if you feel like, oh, they're not going to be able to make a decision, it's to get that buy-in
Mhm.
and inclusion, I think is huge.
Yeah. I
Um,
think that, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I had that with my stepmom because she,
mhm,
wasn't eating well. It was not very
mhm,
good. And
mhm.
here I am, I do meals, right? So
Yeah,
I
no, it's always
I
the case.
right, and just trying to get that
No,
buy-in.
no,
So
what is it? No profit in your own land.
oh my gosh. So I did. One day I brought the menu, but I also brought a meal home and I said, "Hey, my chef just made this and was wondering if I could get some people to test it for me.
Oh,
And would you be willing to
brilliant.
do that?" And she was like, "Oh, I could do that for you. Oh, you brought one of my favorite,
Yeah.
she warmed it up." She goes, "Oh my," and she loved it, right? And then she had the menu there and she's like, "Well, can I try other things for your chef?" And I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
"Yes, I'm sure you can." And so she picked a
Oh my
few
gosh. That's amazing.
and what was good because then that got her on the program. It got her to
Yeah.
sign up, and I'm like, "Okay, yay," because she was struggling with having food and losing weight, and I'm like, just yeah. So I guess that a lot of times that's where I can meet our clients or
Yeah.
the loved ones at the door or at where they're at because I
Yeah.
do have some general understanding of, I know it's not easy, but
Yeah.
inclusion is
Right.
including them in the decision process is where it
Mhm.
goes because I think that's
Right.
one area we can make our biggest mistake is thinking that they're invisible and we're just
Right.
trying to help so that we can get everything settled to get to the next thing. And
Yeah.
that's part of the
No,
process.
agreed. My own story with my father when he was by himself and I had not your program, a different meals program. How's that going? Great, and then I end up going out to the garage freezer and it looked like the Raiders of the Lost Ark in that warehouse. It was like just,
Mhm.
stacked meals in the freezer that he wasn't even eating, but he's like, "Oh yeah, they're good," and I never looked out there because it wasn't somewhere we went normally,
Right?
but yeah, so if you're involved with them, how's that go? Do you really like it? Like, what
Yeah.
would you like to pick the types of meals? I think we actually gave him that option to pick the meals, but I think he was just resigned to it and he was just placating me, just like, "Yeah, sure."
What do I have to do to
All
get them go away? Right?
yeah,
I'm not gonna be
exactly. Like, I went back. I'm gonna go boil my hot dog now. So yeah, yeah. I think he was the last person to ever boil hot dogs. He was keeping that tradition alive.
bless him.
What gosh, we talked about a lot of stuff. How if so somebody's listening right now and or watching and they're thinking, "Oh, this is fantastic." How what's the process to get started? I'll have all your contact information on the show notes here and everything, but like how does that process work? What can somebody expect if they're reaching
Yeah.
out for somebody, a loved one or themselves?
Yeah, if they call it, they can call in or they can go on our website. If they go on the
Mhm.
website, they'll fill out a contact form, which will come to us, and then we'll reach
Okay.
out to them. If they call us, they will be put in directly to my what we call our assessments or our customer service team, and they will
Okay.
evaluate them. They will take the initial information over the phone, find out where their service
Mhm.
area is, and then let
Mhm.
them know what we have to offer at this time based on where they live or what we can do for them. And then if we
Yeah.
can't, then they should be making referrals to them to other areas, or we try to make connections to help them out.
Mhm.
And it's
Got it.
usually so it does entail an in-home assessment to get started. And we can usually get that scheduled within the like if they call on a Monday or Tuesday, we can usually get somebody out there by the end of the week, if not
Okay.
within a week's time, 7-day
Great.
period of time. And then
That's
it
pretty
can,
quick turnaround.
yeah, it's pretty quick turnaround. You should be able to get meals within a good 10-day period at the
Mhm.
longest, depending
Oh,
on delivery times and delivery schedules. Because we do deliver 3 days a week. It just depends on, well,
mhm.
4 days a week, but to different
Mhm.
areas twice a week.
Right. Okay. Wow. Is there anything we didn't cover that maybe you'd like to I know there's
Oh,
so
wow.
much, and I mean, PVI in general does so many amazing things, but
Yeah.
in your kinda area or anything that's might be helpful for someone.
Yeah, probably, I guess some of the bigger stuff, rides PVI. So if you did want to
Mhm.
connect with us in Menlo Park and you're in Santa Clara or farther away north, they do connect people to get rides. And that's a
Great.
great program that we offer. And you can just link up
Mhm.
with that again through our website or by calling us.
Yep.
And that helps seniors get rides with Uber and Lyft. Some of those you do pay for, some are subsidized. It just depends
Mhm.
on, they can help you do that. And then probably our other program that complements my nutrition program is our Quiescence program, which
Okay.
is one on one design services for families to help them navigate the aging process. So our person can come in and just connect them with people like yourself, Tom, that
Mhm.
can maybe help this loved one out or give the family
Yeah.
respite. They help them if they need meals and need to be receiving
Mhm.
our meals. They help connect them that way, or if they
Got
need
it.
more services than that, then they help them just find that. But it's
Okay.
all tailored to the needs of that aging adult and the
Okay.
family caregiver. It's our
That's great. So
newest
it's almost
program.
like a concierge type thing, so they
Kind of,
really understand, like,
yeah,
their current situation, they try to connect them with the various
yeah.
resources that you offer, or even is it beyond what you offer? Or
It's
if
beyond what
they
even we offer at PVI. We have
yeah,
partners like Synergy
okay.
Home Care, where
Yeah,
we would call and say,
yep.
hey, they need somebody to come in.
Right,
Um,
right.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of that that goes with it.
Oh,
Yeah, having just going through a lot of this process myself, I wish I'd had them a
yeah,
little bit more. Like,
I know.
they take
That's what
the
I keep
panicked
saying
phone
too.
call,
Every new guest, think, "Gosh, why didn't I talk to you 5 years ago when I was
right?
in X, Y, and Z?" And, and it's 'cause it's and I think that's the thing is that, people don't think about reaching out for these resources, and one of the things, that I almost forgot to ask is, if they're not in our area here to be able to tap into what you offer, are these types of resources available typically, or are you a very kinda unique situation there? I mean, or is it
Uh,
everywhere in between,
yeah, I
if
think
you
it's
live
every.
in another state?
Well, that's a beautiful question. I actually just returned from Meals on Wheels America, where I was there with
Oh,
700 of my closest friends. Um,
wow, amazing.
yeah, it was huge, right? But there are Meals on Wheels under nonprofits like PVI all over the place. And
Okay.
there are senior services all over the United States. And actually, there was actually someone there from the Cayman Islands.
Oh, wow.
It really takes, you got to ask a lot of questions, unfortunately, I think sometimes to uncover this stuff. But every area should have an area agency on aging or something of that nature in their community. And that's always a great first phone call. They
Okay.
can usually connect you out to the people. What I love, for us being in where we are serving Menlo Park or San Mateo and Santa Clara counties, we actually do have some family, like the families out of the area, but their loved ones in our area that they
Yeah.
find us through the good old World Wide Web, and
Yeah, sure.
we work that way as well. So
Yep.
I do their services are out there and they are in other
Okay, that's
communities
good
to
to know.
support people.
So the aging services, whether it's with the local county or however they provide that department.
Local
So
county or
that's
nonprofits,
great
they're
to know.
all over the Bay Area and the
Okay.
United States.
Okay. That's great. Well, that's a good place to stop. So not only amazing things locally, but you're part of a bigger network of just good-hearted, and I say this every time, like most everybody I talk to that is in the senior services
Uh,
industry and all the different dimensions and areas are just people who have a heart for this. Clearly, you are driven by that. I mean, this is
uh,
uh, clearly a passion of yours, and like you just see you lighting up, talking about helping people, which is you can't fake it. So I appreciate that because I'm a kindred spirit. Thanks, Stephanie. I appreciate you being on the synergy sessions, and I'm sure all my millions of listeners out there eventually will benefit greatly from it. And please reach out to Stephanie if you can, if you have somebody who could benefit from the services or have questions or would like to start the process to see if it's a good fit for you and or your loved one. We'll have all of her contact information in the show notes. So
yeah, come check
thanks,
us out.
Stephanie.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Tom.
take care. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye now. Thank you for joining us on the Synergy Sessions. We know you have a lot on your plate, so we really appreciate you spending the time with us today. If you found the information in this episode useful, please reach out to the guest or the resources in the show notes. I know they would appreciate it and would love to help. Also, if you have an idea for a future episode, please reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook or email us and let us know. We'd love to hear from you and provide information that's useful. Lastly, please remember, you don't have to do this alone.